What is your view on the Asian equity market sentiment in the near term, specifically the Chinese market?
Most of Chinese equities have been very hard hit in recent months. So we've been down over 20%, in some cases more than 30% in some stocks. So the sentiment is understandably very poor. But I think that we're reaching a time when it's going to be right to buy dips and think that we stabilize and actually can work our way higher. So I'm not as pessimistic from here that there's still a long way to go. So I'm more of a cautiously bullish, and looking to try to buy dips, and I haven't been that way for some time. So I think we're getting close, particularly in some of the names like Alibaba and Tencent. I think they're getting down to very reasonable, attractive valuation levels, and technically they're getting very oversold. So I think we're getting close.
Do you think people should switch the allocation of their assets from U.S. to China at this time?
Well, I think that might be a little premature. The U.S. still has a very good longer-term uptrend, halfway decent GDP growth. I think the economy is still in very good shape. So despite the recent market pullback, the economy seems to be on good footing, and that should still bode well for the U.S. I do have a little bit of a concern only, over the next few years. I think that gradually we're going to start to see fewer and fewer stocks hitting new high territory, and we'll start to experience weakness. But it's tough for me to think that the recent sell-off is going to extend and that's going to materialize right away. That should take some time. So for now, it's still right to be long U.S. stocks, but I would increasingly, start to allocate, I think, more towards China. Specifically because U.S. technology seems to have really started to roll over, and that's a concern to me. We've broken longer-term trend lines from 2016, and there's some evidence of real sector rotation at work, which means if the U.S. market's going to work, it's still up in the air as to what sector is going to start to participate to really help the indices to move back to highs. So it does make sense to me to allocate some towards China, but I don't know about 100%. I still think the U.S. should be a top allocation at this point.